once again to Dassault Systèmes 3D Experience Forum here in Adelaide, Australia. And I'm delighted now to be joined by Richard Hamer. And Richard is the Education and Skills Director at BAE Systems. Richard, welcome to Adelaide. BAE Systems, tell us a little about the organisation and where it sits in 2018.
Yeah, well, BAE Systems is a defence, aerospace and security company, one of the biggest defence companies in the world. So we've got 80,000 employees operating across the building, maintaining military aircraft, land systems, submarines, and involved in security and cyber areas. So across a whole variety of different areas involved in innovation, new technology, and investing also critically, which is why my role, investing in the skills of our existing workforce, but also investing in the skills of new people joining our businesses.
How do you feel about speaking today at the forum?
It's always a bit nervous in terms of environment. Nevertheless, it's a great opportunity and one which I embrace.
So the digital transformation, how do you see that changing STEM and how we actually create a job-ready workforce?
I think it's going to be an enormous change for the existing workforce, but also for the future workforce. So we can do it through schools. One of the things we're doing is taking theatre in the schools in the UK to get them to understand the way that work is changing. For our apprentices, we've built a 21st century training facility in Lancashire, in England, where we've got co-robots, a whole range of things, additive layer manufacturing. We're introducing them to the kind of technologies that they will be using, but actually we're also using their own native interest, engagement in new technology. So things like tablets and mobile phones and whatever, using those actually to allow them to do the work rather than actually to use old-fashioned instructions and things like that. So we're using the trends and the capabilities of young people as well as imposing, as you say, the new ways of working.
I suppose it raises an interesting dilemma because with young people, one would assume that they have a relatively open mind to new ideas and things that they've never known before. How though do you go about transforming that really vital cog, which is your experienced workforce? How do you bring them on the journey?
Well, one of the good things there is that BAE Systems, although we're fundamentally an engineering business, we just see ourselves as a learning business. So we encourage and inculcate in our workforce a desire for continued upskilling. So there's that kind of backdrop to it. I think there's also recognition that the world is changing, and unless they want to be part of that, then they'll have to embrace those changes and use it. I think also it will change the workplace in a way that make it more interesting for them. They'll be able to do more work at a higher edge, more design work rather than some more the repetitive activities. So it's also an opportunity to do different things which are more quality based rather than some of the more repetitive activities in the manufacturing environment.
For a large organisation like yours, how difficult is it to actually keep up with change? I mean, every time you turn around, it seems there's a whole new raft of changes.
It's a permanent problem, but nevertheless, a problem is an opportunity. And I think for those organisations that embrace that change, like BAE Systems, we can keep ahead of the game. By keeping ahead of the game, we're competitive, we provide value to our customers in terms of governments like here in Australia. It's essential that we do that, and essential also we invest not just in ourselves, but also supply chain. So organisations like here in Australia can benefit from that process of change, and young people can be part of it. And as a wider economy, we can be more successful.
How important do you think it is for the industry to actually drive that excitement in young people? It would seem that in the engineering space, there are a multitude of opportunities and hugely exciting avenues for growth, but you have to get kids involved early.
Yeah, I quite agree. I think it's our responsibility to work with government and to work with education to inspire next generation. So in the UK, we've got a roadshow, we take technology into schools, robots and things like that, in partnership with the Royal Air Force and Royal Navy. And we're doing a lot of great things here too in Australia with First Lego, a whole range of projects in Hunter Valley and whatever. If we do that, we can inspire them. They can see why a job in engineering and manufacturing is good for young men, but also critically young women too.
Absolutely.
It's half the population. So let's engage more of those, and that will help us meet our STEM skills needs. Because I know here in Australia, equally in the UK, we're not encouraging enough people to go into the STEM sector and the defence sector.
I was just about to ask you, when you look around the globe, which countries do you look at and think, yeah, I think they're getting it right?
Some of the Scandinavian countries are amongst the most successful, so like say Taiwan, South Korea and things like that, where I think there's a much more public recognition about the importance of STEM subjects. Also recognition that's good for women as well as for men. So I think there are things that we can learn from Scandinavia and some of the sort of tiger economies and whatever in sort of the East Asia. But I do think in Australia here and in the UK and in France, in terms of the sponsor here today, that we are getting things right. We're working in partnership with government, with education, I know you've talked to universities before,
Yes.
and with schools. By doing things together, we can get young people and mums and dads and teachers to recognise there's a wonderful opportunity for careers in advanced manufacturing engineering and with BAE Systems here in Australia.
So I suppose if the glass is half full, there's plenty of room for further growth and opportunity for young people, certainly across Australia and indeed mostly around the globe.
Definitely. I think I'm a positive person by spirit, and BAE Systems is a positive culture.
Yeah.
And I think there's a huge opportunity for young people and for women too, in terms of diversity perspective, to have a wonderful opportunities and careers in the sector. I think there's never been a time when there's been more requirement for people with STEM skills, be it in the defence sector or allied sectors. So for young people to invest in skills, be it in an apprenticeship or to do a degree in STEM subject, engineering or whatever, is a wonderful foundation for a long-term career and sustaining high income and sustaining their personal selves, but also their families.
It sounds like a bright future. Richard Hamer, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.